Now to the 2016 presidential campaign. The GOP nominee, Donald Trump, is looking to close the gap with Hillary Clinton in the polls, trying to consolidate Republican support and to reach out to traditionally Democratic groups like African-American voters. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron is traveling with the Trump campaign and reports tonight from Everett, Washington. Good evening, Carl.
Hi, Brett. For the most part, he's out here in California and Washington to fundraise today, but tomorrow there's a very important speech on immigration in Phoenix, Arizona. And Trump has a great deal of work to do. For the past 3.5 weeks, he has been perceived as sort of going back and forth on the three key cores of his immigration proposal. One, the ban on new Muslim visitors and immigrants. Now it's supposed to be extreme vetting. Two, what to do about the wall. He said it would be from the Pacific coast to the Gulf Coast. It would be a great wall, but now he's acknowledged that, well, there are mountains in places that make a wall impractical, and perhaps it would have to be technology instead. And then there's what to do about the 11 million undocumented aliens in the country now, whether the illegal immigrants need to be all deported or whether, as he suggested to Sean Hannity a couple of weeks ago, there would be a softening of that. Those things, we're told, will be answered to some degree tomorrow. And depending on where he goes with those folks who may not choose to self-deport, in other words, go back to their home nations before coming back and reapplying for citizenship in this country, if they're not rounded up, an awful lot of Republican-base voters might consider that amnesty. On the other hand, if he were to soften, that might make it more possible for Donald Trump to court the kind of swing and independent voters that often decide general election presidential campaigns, Brett.
Carl, on another front, I mentioned it in the lead there, Trump is reaching out to African-American voters, heading to Detroit this weekend, planning for a speech there.
Yeah, that's the second big speech of the week, and there's an awful lot riding on it. His outreach, his attempt to appeal to minorities, African-Americans specifically, as well as Latinos and Hispanics, rather, has been quite pronounced in the last month. And there will be a meeting on Saturday in Detroit at the only African-American owned and operated evangelical TV network. It's in part being organized by Pastor Mark Burns, who's in a bit of a hot water, having retweeted a picture of Hillary Clinton in blackface and suggesting in that tweet that Hillary Clinton is in some way taking advantage of black voters, and once she gets their votes, she'll forget about them for another 4 years. There was a bit of a backlash. Pastor Burns has apologized for what he acknowledges to some was an offensive retweet of that picture of Clinton in blackface, but not for his sentiment that she is essentially exploiting African-American votes for political gain and doesn't really care about them. That speech on Saturday in addressing those evangelical African-American leaders will be a big opportunity and a big test for Trump yet again. Brett.
Carl, thank you.